My head of sixth form took us on a trip to the university. He hired a little van when we were in our first year of A-level study. I came to Oxford and I looked around and I thought, this looks a bit different. I was quite in awe of all the architecture. As I found out more about it, I realised what it was like in terms of other universities, and that was a bit scary, but I was hooked. I just thought it was a beautiful city, and I thought the structure of how the courses were taught were really engaging. So it was that trip. I had to be taken on a trip to see Oxford to know that it was an option for me. I had no knowledge about it before. I think for young people in maybe inner city London schools today, that's definitely the context I'm coming from. You have to see what is on offer. You have, in order to know about it. When I told my family, I think I want to apply to Oxford, they kind of were so happy about it. It was like I had already gotten in before even filling out my personal statement. So they were really crucial in keeping me going. Most of my teachers were encouraging. I had a fantastic A-level history teacher. He helped me with my personal statement, took time out to kind of let me understand the context of Oxford, gave me tips as well for interview. But there were some teachers who didn't really support my decision to try and apply to Oxford. They just said to me, the only reason I would get in is because of positive discrimination, which wasn't something I wanted to hear, because it was like, well, there's nothing to do with my ability. It's more because there's a quota to fill, when that just wasn't encouraging. I know that I worked really hard, and I know that my school wasn't the greatest one. And so for people that you respect and look up to, and seem to be passionate in their field, to say that wasn't very pleasant. But as I said, most of my teachers were supportive, and I think when I did actually get in, some of those teachers who had told me not to apply were quite surprised. So I was able to come to Oxford several times to visit before I applied, and also during the application process. I needed to do that for my own management of my goal, to keep it in my view. But for people who live further away from Oxford and not as easy to access, look online. I kept reading the prospectus, looking at all of the modules that were there and saying, I'd love to do this, I'd love to do that. Anything you can get hold of to remind yourself and to, I don't know, just to imagine yourself there, I would strongly suggest you do that, and look at the way Oxford is reported in the press, look at the league tables, look at the student satisfaction surveys, whatever you can do to familiarise yourself with Oxford, so that you take away the fear that you have. So it's not this big scary place, it's a place that you can go and you can fit in, you can contribute to the community as well.